Hello everybody, welcome to the Totally Awesome Fishing Show New Zealand. I've just come down for a look-see and I had the rod in my car. I wasn't going to fish, but I thought, you know what, I've paid for my licence, it's a beautiful evening, and I'll just give it a fish. Yeah, this particular spot is over the years has been one of my favourites. I've had one or two fish from it, sea-run salmon from it. What it is basically, it's a big sort of it's a deep hole which has been ground out from the current and this is that and the other. So it's deep water, and what actually happens is the salmon, they come in the river, and they swim up the river, and they come here, and they hang out here before they go upstream. Now they're not always here, but March is a better time to fish here. But it's a good spot any other time, really, if you've got the time. And at any stage of the tide, it's worth a fish. You just never know. I've seen them fish caught right at low water. I've seen them caught at high water. It generally fishes best on the outgoing tide. That's a bit of a known factor. The water's gone gin clear today, or for weeks, so the kiddie in the tackle shop was saying. And when it goes gin clear, you want to go to your silver ticers. Oh, I just had a knock then. High up. I just had a knock then. That was right on top of the surface of the water. I don't know what the hell that was. It could have been a carwai, but there's been one salmon caught today. That was quite snatchy, so that reminds me of a salmon. I've caught a few fish from this spot, and I've lost a few fish from this spot as well. It's important when you get a take, you've got to look to set the hooks. And what I mean by that is you do need to strike, but you don't want to like berserk strike. You want to do like a gentle sort of strike, so to speak, and almost like a double strike. And what you're trying to do, the fish, the Chinook salmon, got very bony mouths, so you've got to try and set your hooks. Okay, now my hooks are razor sharp. And there's no stones, there's no sand here to blunt them. You've got to be a little bit mindful of the rocks which are close in here. I've only got this one spinner. I've got some others in the car, but I can't be bothered to go back to the car. I've come down, had a chat with a few anglers, gone up to another spot, and I've walked past it, and I've felt that it's still good for a fish. Now, what actually happened there, because I was talking, I actually started winding the lure back on the surface, and that's when I got that little take. Now, usually the salmon are right on the bottom here, and it's very deep. So what I'm actually having to do, I'm having to count to about 20. I'm letting my 24-gram sinker just almost get to the bottom, and then it's a very slow retrieve, and you're just using the action of the lure causes the vibration and the shimmer. Now, when the water, when you get a bit of rain, and later on in the season, the water goes a bit of a sort of a milky, darker sort of colour, and you generally use a white ticer when conditions are a bit murky. Now, you've got to be careful when you're in a swim like this. You've got some problems for the angler. You've got these rocks where you could lose your gear, and you've also got these trees. Okay, we've got the wind behind us, so it's really a lack of concentration is going to cause us to lose our gear and have to tie it on again, and that's when we should be out there fishing. This is all about maximum your time while the fish are in the strike zone, so to speak, which is the best time. So you're trying to mitigate lost time. Now, a lot of the fish I've had, and I keep saying this on a lot of my videos, I get the take when the lure is in close, like these rocks here, the deep end of these rocks here. You've got to risk your ticer coming in And the fish, they like it in close. They either stalk it and watch it and follow it for a while. That'd be interesting to have a camera down there and see what they do. But there's something about when you retrieve it very close in. So I'm just waiting for it to sink to the bottom. Some other anglers over there. One fish was caught today. 10-pound Chinook salmon was caught today. A bit further along where there's a bit more current around the point. I've had them there as well myself. Not so big, but it's all about doing the basics well here. Slow retrieve, got the right colour on, and you know, not aiming for perfection every time, but just getting in a sort of relaxed routine and just lobbing it out. Lobbing it out. So we're going to count to 20. I'll count to 20 on that one. So it's still some good time. See, if the fish are in here, it doesn't really matter. You can have all the best peak times all you like. If the fish are in here, then that's the key denominator. We're still at a good time, I would say. We're right at the end of what I would call my prime time for this spot, but we're still there. But if there's fish down there, then any time's a good time. They'll still take it. You see, if the fishing's tight, you want to be there at the prime time. And it's not guaranteed you'll get one. It's I've got a nice northwester over my shoulders, so we're just going to stop. I've just retrieved it a little bit, and it's deeper, closer into the bank, so I'm just letting it sink again. So I've let it sink, I've wound it a bit, and I'm letting it sink again because I want to do a deep drop this time. And we're just gonna, but not so slow that it's gonna get caught in these rocks. But we're just gonna speed it up now. You can see the rod tip. You see the rod tip sort of wiggling like that, and a real fast retrieve just close in, so we don't catch the rocks. Razor sharp hooks. And this is all we do at the hole. Cast a little bit further over. It's just patience. I lost a good one here a few years back. It just tore off. Strong fish. And I didn't set the hooks. And it got away. And that happens sometimes. So when you do get one, you appreciate it that much more. I need to get some oil on this reel. A bit faster retrieve here, that's it. Faster retrieve. So sometimes the fish move into a spot. So if it's busy here and there's lots of people fishing, always try and get down early and get in your best spot. Because if you move around, there's going to be you won't be in your best spot. If you don't know your spot, there can be a load of snags in your spot, in your new spot, and then you know you're losing gear and all this, that, and the other, and there's other anglers in the way. Always, if it's busy, go to your hot spot. The swim you know all about it. Then it can be as busy as it wants around you. That's a nice butterfly. And yeah, there's not usually, there is some current here, but sometimes the salmon will follow your lure right out of the water, a bit like a pike. In the UK, they'll follow it. So always keep your eye on the lure as you're just winding it into your feet. It's always worth a fish. even if people are saying there isn't that many fish caught, at the end of the day, salmon fishing is a very individual sort of bit of fishing you do, and you don't really want to pay too much attention. You want to ask people, but don't take too much of what they have to say as gospel, you know. Work things out for yourself. And don't, you know, and it's easy to, I mean, right now I'm sitting on 1 fish for the year, which is, you know, I'm on the board, so I'm not like under pressure. But if you hadn't had your first fish, you know, you can get quite down about things. But for me, it gets easier towards the end of the season because there's more fish in the river trying to run the river. But early season, you know, only the really good anglers get on the board first. I mean, there's probably some seriously good anglers who probably had 4 or 5 fish by now. But I mean, I've done all the running around, chasing the salmon, and I find it's not really worth it. I just find it's just, once you get your first fish, I think you can then just take your foot off the accelerator and just relax and then just enjoy it, and just do it when the conditions are really suit you and when you've got the time to do it. You ain't got to panic anymore. I've had years where I've just got in the car at every opportunity, after work, weekends, weeks off work, trying to sort of, you know, really get as many as I can. I think the most I ever managed was, I think 3 or 4, and lost a couple or something. That was the best I ever done, like, you know, smashing my knackers off for them. And they're just not worth it. They're just not worth it. You know, as long as you get 1, that's the main thing. But it's nice being out here. It's a nice sort of sky over there. It's quite a strange little spot. Now, one thing you do need here really is a landing net. I used to have one, but it's gone. When I moved to Australia, I sold quite a lot of my fishing tackle. You do need one, but you can manage without. Now, you run the risk of losing the fish a lot more easier. However, if you play the fish correctly and you tire him out, then really you should be able to beach him, and he's, you know, pretty exhausted. Or you can get him close enough so you can put your hand, and all you've got to do, you've got to put your finger underneath the chin. Okay, don't try and grab him around the neck or the tail or anything like that. You get your middle index finger, and you just slide it underneath his gills, underneath his chin, right? And that's it, and you've got him. Okay, so you don't try and put your fingers in his mouth and hold him that way. It's one of your fingers, or your strong finger, underneath his chin, through his gills, and you can lift up the whole weight of the fish like that, and you can pull him out. So you don't need a net. It's good to have a net, a long-handled, lightweight net, so you can reach out and you can probably net him a little bit earlier in the fight. But at the end of the day, if you just relax with him on, and you just look for a little slot in the rocks where you can, see, I've just gone in there now. See, the braids, pretty dodgy stuff. Now, because I can get close to this, I can probably get it out, but there you are. It's very easily, we're just going to, because we've got it caught, we're just going to stand somewhere slightly different, and we're just a little bit further out. And, oh, sorry, when I move, the camera does something different. So all we're doing, just letting it sink. The water's a good colour, it's nice and clear. I'd rather it like this than borderline whether you can fish it or not. But that's a good colour. We could get one here if they're there on this spot. So we're just going to persevere. You never know. We had a bite. Now that was either a carwai. I don't think you get a carwai this far back. You do get carwai this far back, but it was on the surface, wasn't it? So. See, all the salmon, primarily, I've heard people saying they've caught salmon as soon as it's hit the water, but for me, they're deep down. They're deep down. It's a good 18 footer here. 20 foot, I would say. There's a bit of water here. You can do a little speed up every now and again. And remember, as long as you just got a slow retrieve, with this current, this lure is just... That's it. And always just watch for shadows behind the lure. Now this lure here in particular is called the Snake. And it's 24 gram silver ticer. It's got a nice wiggly action, very cheap, locally made, and he's done some nice patterns over here. This is one of my favourites at the minute. Always pay attention to what other anglers, what gear they're using, especially anglers who look like they know what they're doing. If you've not fished it for a while, and then you can just buy the most sort of, you know, state-of-the-art gear. I used to use a 28 gram ticer here. Very effective. You want it to vibrate. The fish pick up on movement. Vibratey stuff. And so this is the salmon hole. We're gonna stop it here because I've only got this one battery. And if I do get something on, I want a little bit of footage of that. So I'm just going to just put it on hold for now. And if you can please subscribe to my channel, that'd be much appreciated. And I will catch up with you on my next video. Okay guys, I'll see you later.